Hey everyone, so I'm Amy and this is the Lotus. Today I kind of wanted to talk about just empowering people against DHS. And I say against because it is a battle for anybody, I think. So I guess let me just start with not everyone can afford a lawyer, and not all public defenders are very good. Um, to be diplomatic about it. So, oftentimes, us as parents, it's up to us to be the line of defense for our children. And the only way we can do that is if we're empowered with information, data. Um, So one of the things that we had to do, at first we didn't have the greatest lawyer, but we ended up with a phenomenal lawyer, and so our case started moving much quicker once we got a better lawyer. So if you can afford a lawyer, definitely get one. If you can't, I would still get that public defender, but empower yourself as well. That is very, very important. So one of the best ways to empower yourself with DHS would be to learn their bylaws, learn their rules and regulations, learn what they cannot do. There are good workers and there are bad workers, and no one knows which one you'll get. We've had our mix. We've been dealing with our DHS, CPS situations. We've had several cases, some bogus, some not, some dismissed, some not, for various reasons. But either way, we've had our mix of, good workers and bad workers. So always, always empower yourself. Make sure you know the information, not just them. Don't rely on their word, because if they may be mistaken. They do this day in and day out, yes, but that doesn't mean that things don't slip through the cracks. They may have forgotten things or misremember something. It happens. People make mistakes. Humans are infallible. So basically, one of the best ways to get that information, you can do it yourself. You can get on the DHS website, and they have a link on there that allows you access to their rules and regulations and their bylaws and everything. You can also go as far as like state statutes and things like that based on the state you live in. If I'm not mistaken, that is also provided on the DHS website. And then also, the services that they have us do, I know a lot of us feel the same way about that. They say it's voluntary, but it's not for us. If we don't do it, we don't get our kids back. So how is that voluntary? And a lot of people don't really understand that concept unless they're a parent. And oftentimes you're dealing with a caseworker that isn't a parent, so they don't understand. They don't seem to grasp what it is that you're trying to express to them. But oftentimes in the services that they request that you do, some of those services you might come across people that are actually really helpful. I know I have. Not in all of my services, but that being said, you have the right to request a new worker. You have the right to request a new counselor. Like if you're in, a drug program or a DV program, you have the right to request another counselor. If you and your counselor are not meshing, then you don't need that counselor anyway, because they're counterproductive to your goal, your end game. So, when it comes down to it, you have to know know those rights and push for those rights. Don't let them bulldog you. Don't let them tell you no. Because they will at first. Well, let's try to, find a better solution. Let's see if we can mediate through this. But if you're just really not comfortable with that person, just tell them, look, I want a new worker and I'm going to exercise my right to do so. And they'll give you the proper paperwork once you do that. One of the things that I did in the beginning, unless the judge orders you to provide the original copies of your birth certificates and social security cards of your kids, do not give them the originals. Give them copies. If the judge orders copies only, then do that. Only go by what the judge says. Don't let your worker tell you that it's their way or the highway. Typically that's an indicator that you don't have a very good worker for whatever reason. We had a situation like that with ours where the worker told us that, well, I do this all the time, and I'm going, well, the judge said you only needed the copies, so give me my originals back. And because I actually had one of the worker supervisors, initial workers anyway, steal my kids' birth certificates from me. She said she would get the copies and then never came back. So I don't really know what happened there, but don't make the mistake I did. Get copies on your own. And then, like I said, just keep looking for those rules and everything. They are out there, and if anyone ever needs access to a lot of that information, if you're in Oklahoma anyway, I actually have copies of all of that. And you can reach out on my Facebook group. It's called The Lotus. It has the same profile picture. And I also opened a page called Lotus Channel on Facebook, so you can contact me if you ever need any help finding these resources, or if you don't have access to a printer or internet. By all means, contact me through that Facebook page and I will send it to you. I will send you the whole packet. That's actually in part thankful to my mom. My mom helped me gather all of that information and data so that I could be empowered against, the battles I was facing to protect my children. Because at the end of the day, yes, DHS and CPS are here. They're supposed to be here to protect your kids, right? Child Protective Services, right? But at the end of the day, who's going to protect your kid better than you? That's what it all comes down to. No one is going to protect your kids better than you. So do that. Don't let them bully you and make you feel like you're not supposed to or you can't, because that's just simply untrue. You're their parent, and as long as you're on the right track and you're fighting for your sobriety, or you're getting out of the DV case or situation, that you're in, that you're dealing with, or whatever the situation may be, whatever it is that has caused DHS to be in your business, as long as you're on the right track to doing better, then there's absolutely no reason for you to not be able to fight for your kids, for you to not be able to be there for your kids. And anyone who tells you any different is just simply wrong. DHS's sole purpose is reunification, and the workers that aren't practicing that aren't doing their jobs correctly. We were lucky enough, we had an amazing worker. By the time everything was said and done, she was just extraordinary, and she listened to us and she heard us, and everything that we had been through before, she tried her best anyway to help us get through it and correct some of the mistakes that the original workers had made. So, like I said, you have the right to request a new worker, and if your worker seems busy all the time or doesn't seem to have any time for you, remember that Oklahoma state law says that a DHS or CPS worker, a CPS caseworker, cannot have any more than 12 open cases on their desk at one time. If you find out they have more than that, immediately call the director. And that is public information. You can find that on the DHS website. So I hope this information really helps you guys and helps you find empowerment and positivity. And I really hope it gives you hope to move forward and, you know, fight that battle to protect your kids and get them home. I really do, because once they're home, you know, it's heaven. You hold on and don't let go kind of thing, you know. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So stay positive, be a lotus.